Hulko, is anybody here interested in working on that sign? We need that sign wording done. Now, I talked with the guys at the
Now, have you looked at the signs that are there recently?
well, the signs that are there are in pretty bad shape. The ones I looked at, unless they've redone them in the last week or two.
There is a fish bait sign.
Right, there's a bunch of signs tacked up on the railing.
Yeah.
And then there's one small standing, well, metal standing sign that I think the town had done before. We talked about where we're putting something up with a little more information on it, with maybe even more language than just English. But I talked with the people at this town sign shop there, and they can only do the standard signs, but they can tell us where we can get the sign made if we just want somebody wants to work on that, put the wording together for that.
And what is it? What's the message?
Could
it be visual? Is there a symbol for it?
If anybody's interested, what I suggest is want to look at the sign that's there, and then we were going to put up some information about fishing line, trash, litter.
No taking stones.
Yeah, I have. Well, I'm not going to worry about that.
So there's a separate sign for that. I've copied
Really?
it.
Yeah, I don't want to stop the sign. But I think I have written down what we originally agreed to.
It's just a long walk out. What?
They're taking stones.
You did? Little ones can't help.
Come on.
I'm talking about big ones.
No, it's illegal to take even sand off the beach. No, if Maureen, if you have an interest in that.
Yeah, I think that.
Well, what I have is I have the notes that we took when we went out on the site visit, and we mentioned things that we wanted to put on the sign, and it's made it more just sort of drafting up a sign on the computer, and then I think we can just go to like Duncan's Sign or somebody like that and just have them make it.
There was also the question, I think that might have been where this got dropped, was whether or not a sea grant already has multilingual signs for public access points. So that was the question.
Oh, that would be.
Somebody thought that there was already
Sea grant.
something, that they had already done some research into what languages were most appropriate and what, communication strategies were most helpful.
Yeah, we were just thinking icons because it's difficult to single out a particular ethnic.
Right, we thought about some icons.
Here's English, Spanish, and
Which is all kinds of different.
I mean, you could just
Southeast
have
Asian,
a really busy sign, so.
Well, yeah, you might check the Sea Grant, see if
it's
they
also
have
kind of
something.
profiling a little bit too.
Yeah.
The other thing too, Maureen, since you're in Massachusetts, maybe you can find out if there's a Massachusetts equivalent, and if we could just find out somebody that has something like that. But she's in New Bedford every day.
I know, the internet knows no political boundaries.
Yeah.
Whether she's here in Jamestown or New Bedford, I think she's equally capable of looking up
Yeah.
what Massachusetts has for signs.
But the other thing we probably want to do is, I think we should do more than one too. I think we should do Hulko, we should do Taylor's Point, upper and lower, and then we should do Park Dock. Those
Right,
seem to
those
be
were the
big
three
public
areas.
access areas that a lot of fishing and that kind of stuff. So we just have one made. And I'm sure getting it made up is not a big deal. It's just getting the wording that we would want to use on it. And then at the bottom, you just put Town of Jamestown Conservation Commission.
What about a fine or some, it seems, there are always signs up there, and people know they're not supposed to throw their trash, leave their fishing line around, but they always do it. And not only that, there's a porta potty there, and it doesn't seem so used as the bushes. It's a shame that can't not be policed, but somehow.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a shame that. Whatever. I must say, I'm a little concerned too about the predation of those areas, although there's nothing you can do, I suppose.
No, the big thing is the town keeps the trash cans empty, people use the trash cans. I think anytime I've been out there, stuff's either been in the can, or if, or if it's full, it's next to the can. So
well, of course, in the case of
all
Hulko, people have to hike it out pretty far, so that's a disincentive.
Sure. So
but you can't put a trash can on the beach because the guys don't want to hike in to get it.
So, I think the big thing is that as long as the containers are empty, people use them. Even people bring their personal garbage to their house and dump them in the town cans.
That's what you can do.
All right, so if you just remind me, and
Okay.
I have a file in Hulko, but I think in that file, well, I'm certain in that file, we put sort of a mock-up of what we wanted to put on the sign. But it wouldn't hurt to ask if there's, and I don't know what language you should put in that, unless we can find, graphics like Pat was saying, circle the slash, none of this, none of that. That would be ideal if you can find those kinds of things, but then finding out who produces them. Hey, try the internet.
There's some company.
Like Carol said, something right.
Maybe we should make some up. We could make some pretty good ones.
Probably.
I think every time a manufacturer is sued for any bizarre accident, they end up making one of those.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do know that you can take anything over to somebody like Charlie Duncan at Duncan Signs, like I did at Fish and Wildlife, just our logo, and he produced it in vinyl and color. So we can get anything made if we need to, but I think it's just developing the sign. If you want to, I'll take care of getting the sign if you figure out what we want to put on, and I can check with that sources for getting the sign made. Town may be able to do some, but I think they just don't have when I was over there the other day, they have letters of a certain size, and they don't have a lot of variety or color, because they're mainly street signs. And they do some they buy standard other signs, you know, like stop and no parking, those kind of things they buy. Okay. Anything else on that?
So signage, no walkways. Down.
No, I wanted to go over there and take the CRMC permit off the railing. That's where I got to do the walkway.
Does the permit stand regardless? I mean,
permit is good for 2
years.
2 or 3 years, yeah.
Usually 3 years from the 10 years.
It's hard to justify the allocation of that kind of cash.
What is happening there now?
Well, I don't think it would hurt for us to go look at it, especially after all the rain.
I was just there yesterday.
What it looked like.
Exactly the way it looked last fall when it got wet, except now that it's muddy in the middle, people are just creating trails that use the higher ground on the side, so it's getting wider and wider.
I mean, if you've got a solution, I mean, I don't know what the solution is. What?
To bring back all those pallets.
Well,
I don't think that's legal, is it?
No,
it's not legal at all. We should took them out.
Now, on the issue, I don't know if you know the issue there, but
they weren't that great.
we proposed improving the trail
They're better than what's there. Are you been down there?
at Hullco. Part of the improvement was, taking out what we needed to take out to get the trail improved, or boardwalk in there. We had the through the earth they cleaned it last year. Nick DeJohn brought his whole crew, and we sent them down with a dump truck. They cleaned the whole trail, all the wood, all the pallets, everything, took it away. It was great. And our intention was to go for our permit to get our boardwalk in there. And Bill Kelly was hot on that, so he was willing to spearhead the effort of building it. But when we went to CRMC, and now the boardwalk has to be 3 feet above the ground. So once we priced 500 feet of boardwalk 3 feet above the ground, it was $75,000. And that doesn't count if you find any Indian artifacts, which Lisa said had another $25,000. And then when I talked to Bruce, I said, Bruce, we don't have $20,000 match for a $100,000 project. So unfortunately, what happens is now we're stuck. We don't know what to do. People
are carrying in wood.
Oh, I'm sure they're going
And
to carry
mostly
in wood.
relocating stones and things at the moment. So I don't know how long it'll take for good to bring pallets back in there.
Yeah, and there's been an ATV back there too.
Yes, there
So
has.
I don't know.
And
Is it still there?
There are tracks, mountain bike tracks, mostly. I didn't see ATV tracks.
The only thing we could do is get CRMC to renege on the 3-foot high boardwalk. And maybe we go for variance. Let it go for a year and see how they change the whole trail and the ecology there, and then we'll go for a variance and get a regular boardwalk across it. I just can't, we thought we were heading in the right direction until they required the 3-foot boardwalk. And
it's uniform with that all the way.
And we took advantage of a situation where we could have the trail cleared for free. Unfortunately, by clearing it, now it's big enough that people are going around the tunnels and making the trail even bigger, so.
Yeah.
Kind of created.
That's
We kind of created a problem that we didn't anticipate. Well, that's what they're looking for now, 3-foot boardwalks are ready across the wetland area.
Actually, I'm actually surprised, because there is a problem now that doesn't put us in a position to ask for a variance. Because it's not as though we're saying, listen, we want to make a path and a new path to the beach. This is an existing path, and it is a situation. I think that there's a similar rules of black farming. If you find yourself, what? Well, if the trail as it is such a detriment to, well, arguably so, that it's so prone to erosion that and then we can claim hardship. Can't afford $75,000 for beach access boardwalk. But at the same time, we're now in a situation where we can't afford the elevated boardwalk, and so we can't do anything. And the trail as it stands, it's pretty bad. I mean, the only good thing about it is that it discourages the use of the beach, which is